Rob Halford recounts the shocking 1990's trial against Judas Priest. Why would a band tell their fans to off themselves? Right? It makes no fucking sense. What's up, y'all? Thrash Potato, rocking another metal news video, talking about Rob Halford, talking about his trial back in the 90s, which was a wild thing, dude. Yeah, I remember this. This was out of control. See, the Karens back then, before social media, had to get together and rally, so it was a little bit more personal and a little bit more scary because everything had to happen in person. And man, in the 80s and 90s, as far as censorship went, it was wild. Alright, let's get into the article and see what they're talking about. The history of metal music is riddled with instances where it has been misunderstood and demonized, particularly during its formative years. It's often culminated in moral panics and being blamed for violent acts. Oh my god, every major metal band had some type of controversy. I remember that. You had a Metallica shirt on, the moms went crazy. You had a Pantera shirt on, moms went crazy. Not my mom's cool as shit. She would get them for me. But man, a lot of your moms out there, holy shit, were they prudes. One of the most notable instances was after what happened in Columbine in 1999, when Marilyn Manson faced intense scrutiny due to those two assholes allegedly being fans of his music. It didn't have nothing to do with him, he ain't never met him. However, even earlier, in the early 90s, Judas Priest found themselves in a similar predicament. Hell, go back even further, when you had Jello Biafra and freaking Ice-T on what was it, Donahue, Oprah? Oh man, there's some wild times when it came to censorship, man. All you guys my age or older, y'all remember that? Pure wildness. Man, I miss the 80s and 90s. In 1990, Judas Priest was sued following a tragic incident involving two young men, Raymond Belknap and James Vance, who made a pact to go ahead and skip out early. Belknap is no longer with us, and Vance, oh lordy mercy, what happened to poor Vance? That kid, holy hell. He survived, but with severe injuries, and severe injuries don't even cover it, dudes. Oh man. I'm not gonna tell you who, but they even based comic book characters off this guy. Bet you can't guess who it is, and if you can, go ahead and put it in the comment below. See if you're right. The lawsuit alleged that a subliminal message in the band's 1978 song Better Than You, Better Than Me compelled them to take such drastic actions. Which, if you let a song guide you on anything, you're a fucking idiot. And there ain't nothing in that song that tells nobody to do nothing. It's just lyrics, dude. This song was originally by Spooky Tooth in 1969. 69, dude. Frontman metal god Rob Halford recounted the trial in an interview with Record Collector, transcribed by Guitar.com, highlighting it as a period of significant trouble for the band. Halford expressed, yeah, I remember they had to all stay together, and keep in mind these dudes are from the UK, they ain't around here, you know, but they had to stay here to go to trial. So if I remember right, they all had to stay in motels and stuff and just be super inconvenienced and just be frustrated, eating crappy McDonald's when they could have been eating bangers and mash or beans and toast. And that's not knocking it, I actually like beans and toast, man. Bangers and mash though, holy hell, I think that's the only time I'd actually use A1 sauce. I don't know how you metal brothers and sisters do it over there in the UK. So it goes on to say, Halford expressed deep sympathy for the victims. Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, he didn't know, he's just out there rocking, thinking life's going great, he's achieving his goals, he's got records out, he's practically a veteran at this point. It's all about the music. I mean, listen to the way the dude sings. He takes that serious. It's seriously all about getting them lyrics down right in the right tone, and goddamn does he nail it. So of course he has sympathy for the victim, and he's not a victim, he's a bozo that did that to himself. Acknowledging the tragedy of their situation, which it is tragic, I'm not trying to knock the dude. I'm really sorry that whatever influenced him to do that, let him do that. I mean, in my opinion, that's just a weak mind, and that doesn't mean I gotta look down or stomp down on them. I just feel sympathy that their mind was so weak to do such a thing. He questioned the logic behind the allegations, pointing out the absurdity of a band embedding harmful subliminal message into their music. Right? Makes no sense, because you want your fans to be around so they can hit the next concert. I mean, how you gonna sell tickets if ain't nobody there? These people never thought things through, and that's how weird they were in the 80s and 90s, 80 moms especially. If they weren't like my mom and they weren't kicking ass up and down the street, Then they were watching every little thing they saw on the news and ate it up like a fat man at Thanksgiving, because there was nothing else to question what the media was telling you back then. Again, kids, no social media. I'd hate for anybody to go through the lawsuit we went through, Halford stated. Don't blame him, because at the heart of the matter, these two beautiful lads that basically aren't with us no more, and they love metal and they love Priest. People don't think that behind the stage, so much practice and hours of sweat and agony and frustration go into making an awesome record, that why would you go through all that work just tell all your fans to kick rocks? It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. 80s moms were the freaking worst when it came to that. But God, do I miss that era, man. Anyhow, but it's still an interesting story to talk about, because it's about having dysfunction in your family and your kids being so unhappy. Right, and they never realized that they were the problem. I don't think they still to this day realize that they were the problem. 80s moms, because yeah, you hear all the stories that, come back in when the street lights are on, because it was different times. They didn't worry about us roaming all day because they knew we could handle ourselves. It was old Beelzebub that got them spooked. I still feel that what happened to those boys, horrible tragedy. Yeah, because Rob Halford is more than likely a solid dude and has sympathy just like the rest of us. Of course he thinks it was horrible. Who wouldn't? Why would a band tell their fans we'd be better off hiding messages like buy more Priest records? Exactly what I'm saying. You're trying to make money, not chase your fucking fans off. Or buy more t-shirts, wouldn't we? Yes, you would. Halford reflected, but that's the insanity of it. You think, how on God's earth can something so ridiculous get so much traction that these lads have to come all the way over from England and sit in a courtroom in Nevada and defend themselves? Exactly. And I ain't never been to the UK, but what I've seen, especially on episodes of Married with Children, I know it's not really known for its hot, steaming weather. I mean, that's got to be a big factor, because even from what I see when I'm watching the BBC, it looks like you just want to take a walk for hours over there as far as the weather goes. Now you imagine if that's the case, and then you got to go sit in Arizona. In the winter, Arizona's like 90. I know I'm pretty close to the damn state. Gotta be absolutely horrible, man, I'm telling you. And not only ourselves, but our music and the label and our fans. And that's why Priest rules, if they would have lost that, it would have been a wrap probably for a lot of music and a lot of bands. And a lot of bands probably would have said, screw it, I can't sing what I want to sing, so I'm out. The band eventually won the case, thank goodness, with the judge ruling that any alleged subliminal messages were not responsible for what happened. However, the lawsuit cost Judas Priest approximately $200,000 in legal fees, if that includes boarding and like plane tickets, travel. I mean, and living day to day, it's not cheap. What if they were into a little bit of nose candy? What if they ate certain things? They would have had to pay for all of those things out of their pocket. So it goes on to say Halford also pondered the potential implications for the music industry if the ruling had gone against him, which is exactly what I just said. It would have been horrible, suggesting that it could have led to widespread disclaimers about subliminal message and music broadcast. He noted that while the case was extreme, such fears and allegations against metal music are not entirely surprising even today. No, because they're still 80s moms, but they call them Karens now, and they complain about some of the weirdest shit I ever saw. If the judge basically sided with the prosecution, all hell would have broken loose. Every time a radio station played a record, they would have to disclaim any possible subliminal messages in today's show, and it would have went out of control, super out of control. People make stuff up out of nothing all the time. It wouldn't have stopped at subliminal messages. That's no bueno, dude. Alright, so it wraps up saying that this incident, among others, underscores the broader theme of metal music often being scapegoated for broader societal issues and tragedies, reflecting a deep-seated misunderstanding and fear of the genre by some segments of society. It just means it was fucked up. So yeah, y'all, that was a pretty interesting article. Especially, I remember this. This was wild. Like I said, again, that poor kid, man, they even drew a comic book character after him, which you'll have to look it up. And like I said, if you know who it is, right on. Yeah, it was completely, dude, if I remember right, they had him singing in court and everything. It was weird. It was just like, what is this, dude? Y'all do me a favor and tell me what y'all think in the comments below. I'd really like to know, or if you remembered it, or if you know which comic book character I'm talking about. So thank you guys for coming around and checking this out, having a little conversation about Rob Halford with me. I got some more videos, some cartoons, some guitar reviews, some gear reviews, stuff like that going on. If you like this video, do me a solid and like and subscribe. It'd mean the world to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We'll see you on the next one, and y'all do me a favor and you remember to stay metal. Late.